It's dangerous to go alone. Take this.
And welcome to Nerd Breaking News. Let's go ahead and talk about something that just kind of like been going around, and we're talking about the bidding war that's going for WB. And the reason why is because it's going to definitely impact the future structure of Hollywood. So we have three groups right now that are bidding. We have Paramount, Netflix, and Comcast, where Paramount's trying to do the full buyout. And then Netflix and Comcast are pretty much trying to carve themselves that streaming service. So let's talk about that. Let's start with the kid. What do you see happening here? What do you think it's going to go on? And how do you see this play out?
So Thursday is the official day for the opening bids for Warner Brothers, and you mentioned those three companies. I'll do it, I guess, in order. The worst case scenario is Paramount. I don't want to get into the politics of that, but that'll be the worst case scenario. Netflix will be the second, only because that damn Snyder cult. These people are obsessed. They're following horrible. And I don't know if you guys saw it, but Zack Snyder liked recently, I think it was last week, he liked a post of comparing the box office difference between Man of Steel and James Gunn Superman. And he is part of the cult. There's a misconception that he's the victim. No, he likes to initiate the fire. He's bored. His Netflix movies were horrible. And this is the guy who likes 300. I love Dawn of the Dead, his remake. I love Watchmen to a degree, even though I think that's an unfilmable movie. That's the greatest comic book in history. I was a fan of Zack Snyder before 2013's Man of Steel. I just think that, that's the worst scenario because we're never going to live it down as DC fans. These guys are going to come out of nowhere and restore the Snyderverse. There was a tweet today where somebody said restore the Snyderverse, or from one of the not credible sources on the website, for scoopers. And this guy put on the tweet, and I'm paraphrasing, but he put the actors, right? Gal Gadot, Henry, whatever, and he put, Ezra Miller, doubtful, Ben Affleck, maybe, or whatever. And then I'm like, dude, you're saying we start the Snyderverse, but you're literally saying the same tweet. Some of the actors won't come back. The delusion is insane. This is LeBron level fan base. And then obviously the best case scenario is Universal, Comcast Universal. They want the streaming. It will dramatically benefit their physical parks, their IPs. Remember Harry Potter's over there, so they'll get Harry Potter, they'll get DC. Universal will have a strong fight for not only a cinematic world that they want to do, but also again the physical parks to compete with Disney. That's the best case scenario. What it means for the DC universe, we'll see, right? Zaslav loves Gunn because Zaslav won't be the owner of Warner Brothers in the next 2 months. It'll be somebody else. We'll see what happens to James Gunn. I'm not the biggest James Gunn fan. I just had to support this man openly because DC has been taking more L's than the Clippers. It's bad. It's bad. Thank you, SGA. It's bad. I just needed to support this man. I like Superman. I didn't love Superman, and he's my favorite character in history. That should tell you everything you need to know about James Gunn. I love portions of the film. I just can't watch the whole film. James Gunn has always been a niche director for me. I felt like either you love or you don't like his movies. I feel like we've seen too many of these films where you're like, okay, either you like his art or you don't like his art. And I think with the exception of Guardians 3 and that Rogue movie he did with his version of Men of Steel, it came out a couple years ago. With the exception of those two films, it's been the comedy show. We have a serious moment. We have a comedy scene, LOL. And I just think when he becomes serious and he does serious stuff, he can do great work. But when he does his jokesy stuff and all this stuff, like Peacemaker, I thought Peacemaker was a joke character. I thought the show, season 1 was better than season 2. I thought season 2, You can't end that finale like that, Gunn. When you tweet it, it's going to be the greatest thing ever, and then that season finale was trash. Like
Right.
Peacemaker is also a niche show, and he got offended by when somebody countered that. The thing with Gunn again, it's what do they call it? Acquired taste. I'm not the biggest James Gunn fan. I love the fact that he's nothing to do with the Lanterns, the show coming up next year. I love the fact that Supergirl he has something to do with. I love the fact that Clayface he has nothing to do with. The DCEU works if James Gunn could be either a writer, which I don't want him to be a writer, or an executive producer, but he can't do both. Kevin Feige doesn't do that. He allows other people to do his stuff, even though Kevin Feige's been destroyed the last 5 years. James Gunn is the best and the worst thing for the DCU. And so whether he's here or not, it all depends what the new ownership is. To your point, TK, I just think for DCU purposes, man, we're in a better spot than we've been in the last 10 years because Snyder just completely destroyed the DC brand. But don't think we're in a great spot. Two things could be true. Are we out of the hole? We're slowly getting out the hole. Are we where we should be? No. And I think Superman was not a misfire. It was just okay. You can't continue to have okays when Marvel's bringing what they're bringing with Robert Downey.
Big guns coming.
Yeah. If they're not careful, especially wherever they end up landing, quite honestly, is going to play a big role on how they're going to go and continue from this. With like you go to Netflix, if you go Netflix, right? Like they say they end up being the one who wins it, right?
Oh, Lord.
You said it yourself, the Snyderverse. Like we're gonna see a version of DC that doesn't emulate what the comic books really are, right? The good thing to know is that if that does happen, Netflix is going to be the one that's going to have the biggest issue with regulations to try to figure this out. So the chance of this kind of happening really lowers your chances. And this is the reason why they're out there trying to find like other partners and stuff like that to be able to join in the process of doing this carve outs that they're doing right now. Comcast will be a great choice, but the problem about Comcast is like they've always been more focused on creating their own content. So though it does bring IPs into Comcast, how would they actually be able to integrate what they're bringing in and create this new version of Comcast? You get me? So it'll be interesting how that's going to play out for DC, in my opinion.
Here's my 10 cents on it. So there's a lot of thought about what this does for DC Comics. But I think that what's more important than that is what it does for Universal Studios. And something that I think folks have to consider is we're in a world now where going to Disney World is so prohibitively expensive. If you have young kids and you're not a Florida-based person, a trip to Disney World is likely not worth it. A trip to Disneyland's also likely not worth it either. It's not something you should be going into 5-figure credit card debt for. But Universal Studios, though, is pretty affordable. And when you give Comcast Universal control over that Warner Brothers IP, you give them the ability to create some very creative things and to really further develop what Universal Studios is. Because I think we all know and understand that Universal doesn't feature the same level of characters that Disney World does. But when they acquire this IP, they very well can. And now you have something that's a good competitor to Disney World that kids may actually want to go see. That would also encourage Disney World to bring their prices down too. So I think that when you're looking at Comcast making that acquisition, even though it would come with a sacrifice to what the DC universe is becoming, I fully accept that. I think the kids' concern there is true. I think ultimately, when you're looking at where this is going to land, you're going to have Paramount and the foreign governments that they're working with, hint, hint, wink, wink, to try to acquire the business versus Netflix and Universal Comcast working collaboratively to counter it. You're going to have a long bidding war. We're going to see who wins. But I think that when you're looking at what's best for the consumer, it's Netflix and Comcast working together to acquire the WB.
I agree.
And they'll probably end up splitting up the IP, which also is a good thing. But
Mhm.
I think ultimately every company on that side of the fence would be better off, and the consumer would get a better product too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because
100%.
yeah, because what to be clear, what no one should be going for is the idea that Oracle / Paramount would have even more control not only over the WB but also your news.
Yes.
Yes.
So
Mhm.
Yeah, because part of that would include
CNN.
CNN. No, that's the legacy stuff that they will actually keep. Oh no, wait. No.
No, no,
My bad, my bad.
no.
No, you're right. Because Paramount's
Mhm.
trying to do the full buyout, so they will
They
get
want the whole
the
thing, the whole
CNN, the
thing.
TNT, all that stuff.
Oh
Yeah, you're
man.
right.
Mhm.
You're right.
And
You're right.
they want the whole thing so they can get the regulatory approval, because
Mhm.
if you can adjust the way the news works, administration is more likely to let you do this massive conglomerate that you're trying to create
Yeah.
that shouldn't even be legal. But hey,
Mhm.
Correct. I
man,
think yeah,
it's not
and
good.
we'll see what happens on Thursday when the official bids come in, and this is going to go on. So the rumors is that the Warner Brothers wants to do a sale by the end of the year, announce it, right? Like so, let's say December
Mhm.
20 something. All right, X bought it. Cool, great. Um, and my concern is, remember, there's a Harry Potter show right now being
Yep.
filmed. There's the Warner Brothers had their best box office years in the last couple years. They had Sinners. They had a lot of great box office films. They had How to Train Your Dragon. Like
Mhm.
they did really good this year. Oh, what's it called? Minecraft, right? $1 billion film, almost $1 billion film with Jack Black. Uh,
Yep.
so again, and you have to think to yourself at Universal, killing it with the dinosaurs, killing it with DreamWorks, right? Back to the Future and all that stuff. To Professor's point, not only do you get the DC product and the Warner Bros. And the Harry Potter that have been licensed to you for this property, now that you own it,
Hmm.
you're able to see these characters live. You imagine if people say, "Come meet Harry Potter," like
Yep.
physically, dude. You know how much people will go there, like to go see it? Like come meet
That's
Superman,
true.
Batman,
Hmm.
Mhm.
like a new roller
Yeah,
coaster.
well, they already have a little Marvel side of it in their parks. They could literally rework that to be all DC.
But,
And actually,
but then you have to give that back to
contractually,
Marvel to
they'd have to
Disney.
give it back to Marvel. And what would that do? That then allows Marvel to put the Avengers in Disney World, which they
Correct,
currently can't do.
correct. Only in
Mhm.
California.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Correct. So again,
Better.
a lot of moving pieces. We'll see on Thursday. I'm just more like, has Gunn done enough? If I'm a Universal executive, to say like, hey, we want to continue the DCU, right? Like it's up to them. They're going to be the new owners, presumably. And for
Yeah.
me, I think Gunn is done all right. I think it's a C right now because think about it. Remember, we haven't talked about it, but remember that he announced or he greenlit it because he's the boss of DC for now. He
Mhm.
greenlit the Jimmy Olsen show. Come on, man, what are we doing here?
Oh my god.
I'm excited about it.
No,
I like it.
no. First of all,
I guess
Jimmy.
just me.
First of all, he's Jay. You haven't seen the movie.
I have not.
See the movie. Come back to us. Come back to us.
Yo, the character in that movie was
He was
horrendous.
horrible.
That bad?
Not the
He was
actor,
Okay.
no,
the,
no,
the
no. Like,
writing.
but
The
the
writing.
actual character itself, the way they wrote it was
Yes.
really bad.
And who
Okay.
wrote that? TK?
Gun.
Correct. So Gunn basically is robbing Peter to pay Paul. Hey, you know who's trash? Jimmy Olsen. Why don't we make a show
Dang.
about him?
Dang.
And again, you're saying this with the Lanterns coming up. You're saying this with Man of Tomorrow, which I'm only excited because David Cornsweet and the greatest Lex Luthor, Nicholas Hoult, he's amazing.
Mm.
Those two boys are coming back, and they confirmed, by the way, that Brainiac is the villain, right? Here's the problem with the Man of Tomorrow. You already said, Gunn, that it's more 50% Lex Luthor film. So we're doing this again. We're not giving Superman a direct sequel. We're giving him, and by the way, you know who's in the film? Lobo, Supergirl, Brainiac. It's James Gunn's thing. What does he love, guys?
Ensembles.
Yeah.
Ensembles. He can't, for whatever reason, he can't write a single film.
The reason why is because if he gave you a solo film, it would be more clear that what you're looking at doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Suicide
true.
Scrubs, 2021. Few cool scenes,
Nonsense.
horrible movie.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
so I
He's
can't believe
very
I can't believe
good.
the Marvel fans were worried about James Gunn. Man,
I was not. I was like, you can have him. You can take him. Guardians of the
because
Galaxy is overrated.
part 3 is the best one.
Oh, absolutely. But he
Yeah,
had 20 years to write it. So yeah.
Yeah. We'll see what happens. But again, I'm the resident DC guy here. I'm Gunn needs to decide what he wants to do. He can't do both because he already said he's directing and he's already like on his 17th draft, whatever,
Yep.
of Men of Tomorrow. I'm not impressed, bro, because we saw Superman and that writing needs to be a lot more. The problem is he's reached George Lucas episode 1, 2, and 3 level, where because he's the boss, nobody could tell him anything. In Marvel, I guarantee you that script had to be turned into somebody else. Here you go.
Yeah.
Yep. In DC, who's he turning it into? He's the boss.
He's the boss. Yeah.
So nobody's telling him, hey, James, take out the monkey jokes. Hey, James, Jimmy Olsen's a player. Why? Like, So again, nobody's telling him anything. Like TK, we saw the movie, man. It was mid.
Yeah, correct. Like the one that really like this best explains is that one scene where they're trying to have this very deep emotional moment between Lois Lane and Superman, while in the background
Green Lantern
you have
fighting,
Green Lantern, beating up on a monster, and it's all jokey, right? It took away from what should have been an important part of the film.
It did.
Yeah.
It did. But that's who he is. And he's obsessed with animals, right? Rocket, Crypto, Brainiac also has like a little side monkey or an animal, so you prepare to see that in this film. He's obsessed with ensembles, animals, and again, if he does it again, it will be like the 4th or 5th time where you're like, okay, bro, at least Snyder had amazing visuals. He just had horrible writing. We're gonna have to now put Gunn in like, okay, dude, you're an ensemble, animal lover, serious, and then anytime there's a tense moment, you put a joke or a musical scene, and it's not getting it done, unfortunately.
Right.
And I want to see DC without him, so that's why I'm so excited about the Lanterns and Supergirl, because he's not involved in that. And don't be surprised if those are more successful than Gunn.
It's dangerous to go alone.
We'll see.
Take this.
We'll definitely see. So let us know now in the comments what you think is going to happen, how it will impact DC. If you guys give us some great ideas, we'll bring it back up in one of our other shows. But till then, keep your fandom alive and your wardrobe engaged. Until next time, fellow nerds, this is Nerd Breaking News.